here.
Well, I look at this team, and I think they have two distinct needs. One is at cornerback, so look from Jimmy Smith from Colorado could be an option here. Besides that, offensive line, Danny Watkins, guard from Baylor. You never know. He could be taken here. I think it's either O-line or they go with a cornerback.
No, I absolutely agree. Watkins could definitely be a great pick, and I also think Smith fills that need at cornerback. I know the Eagles were definitely hoping that Prince Amukamara was going to fall to them, but he got picked up by the Giants just a couple picks ago. Now you don't know if they're going to go for that offensive line help that they need.
It would be great to have a number 2 option to go opposite side of Asante Samuels. That would be great in their secondary. That would be 2 shut-down guys, really good quality guys there, but you never know. Offensive line could be the pick. How about Mike Vick?
Oh, absolutely. Vick definitely needs a protection. Offensive line, cornerback, which one will the Eagles choose?
Perhaps no better person to answer that question than a crazed Eagles fan in Studio A.
Guys, I just wanted y'all to get a second here to look at the full wardrobe if you can. This guy came prepared. Now, obviously a diehard, are you an Eagles fan? Are you an Eagles fan?
Am I an Eagles fan? Yes, please. Let's go.
So what are you thinking? What should they go for in this particular draft?
All right, they got their new defensive coordinator, Juan Castillo. Let's get a cornerback, double up with Asante Samuel. We need Jimmy Smith. Let's go to Colorado, get Jimmy Smith, and I'm feeling it, baby. Let's go.
Well, let's see if the Eagles are on point with how he's feeling right now. We'll see where they're going to go with it.
Eugene, don't turn your back on that guy, especially if the pick isn't Jimmy Smith. We'll find out right now with Melissa Connor. What's the selection?
With the 23rd pick of the 2011 NFL Draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Danny Watkins, offensive guard, Baylor.
Danny Watkins, the former firefighter, is off the board from Baylor, the second Baylor pick in the last 3 selections.
And joined by selecting probably the oldest player going to be drafted in the first round tonight, Danny Watkins. 6'3", 310 pounds, prototypical frame. He's going to move into left guard for the Philadelphia Eagles after playing tackle in college at Baylor, but he's played against some top-level competition. As you mentioned, a firefighter originally, didn't even go to college directly out of high school. But this guy, he's got great prototypical size, really a good drive, good foot movement. This guy's going to come in and play really well for the Philadelphia Eagles and help solidify that line.
I mean, yes, he was the second best interior lineman in this draft, but Philly did not need to draft for offense. This was the second offense in the league last year. They are great at every position. Plus, Danny Watkins was born in 1984. The guy's halfway through his prime, and he hasn't even played
down a firefighter, Billy?
Well, don't get me wrong. One of the best guys in the draft, but that does not mean that you draft him for your offensive line. I don't understand why they didn't go defense here. There's still, as you saw, so many weapons still on the board at that side of the ball. Andy Reid loves to blitz, and you have so many guys to choose from. Brooks Reed, Daquan Bowers, and especially, they need a cornerback opposite Asante Samuel. He's one of the best in the league, but what do you have on the other side? They needed something on the defensive side.
It's all about value, though, Billy. Jimmy Smith, yes, you mentioned he's probably the third best quarterback in our chart, but the off-the-field issues are too much.
Right.
It's already
Billy,
it's a
Michael Vick,
firestorm.
it's not going to be that.
For the PR team, it's a firestorm already with Michael Vick. Could you imagine Jimmy Smith there, too?
Billy, if you feel like you don't like the pick, I'm so anxious to see what our fan in Studio A thinks of the pick.
I got you. So you have Danny Watkins. On the flip side, on the good side, it's a guy who can protect Mike Vick. On the other side, he's kind of old in a sense of age. He was born a little bit. So what are you thinking? Where's your mindset?
Like I said, I would have liked Jimmy Smith, but hey, we need protection for Vic. He's going to go buck. He's going to go crazy and run that ball. We need that protection. I would have liked Gabe Karimi from Wisconsin, but hey, we'll deal with Watkins. We need that protection, so I'm psyched. Let's go, Birds.
And anytime you have Michael Vick, you have a pure athletic presence back there. So an offensive lineman to help him, we could see some more flashes from Michael Vick with all the help that he's getting.
Go Birds.
Boy, Philly fans are literally insane. Another franchise that has some great fans is the New Orleans Saints, and they are now on the clock.
In rushing on offense, 16.
Joe, you're going to have to voice this.
The New Orleans Saints struggled after finishing 2009 atop the heap, winning the Super Bowl. They had some high moments, they had some low moments, struggled out of the gate initially, but fortunately for them, it's all about Drew Brees. Roman Harper as well, a fantastic veteran, a big goal line stop against the Steelers. They have some pieces on defense as well, can certainly get after the passer. Not the year they were expecting, but they caused so many turnovers. That was really their calling card in 2009, but of course everything went wrong with a shocking playoff loss to Seattle in the first round. No one expected the Saints to get knocked off by the lowly Seahawks, but they literally could not stop the run, and particularly not Marshawn Lynch on this very play right here. They certainly have some work to do to get back to the upper echelon where they were in the 2009 season. Now the Saints on the clock here, Tom. What direction do you think they turn in?
Well, this is a situation where we've gotten to the point in the draft where teams stop drafting for need. It's about getting the best player available, especially a team like the Saints, as talented as they are. You got a few guys still on, few big names still on the board defensively, a couple of ends, a good corner in Jimmy Smith, maybe even a guy like Mark Ingram on the offensive side of the ball, running back here, adding another weapon to Drew Brees. You'll have to see which direction they go. I think we're going to go defense here.
Okay.
Yeah, plagued with injuries last year on both sides of the ball. We saw it a lot in their secondary, and also at the running back position. Lost Reggie Bush for a while, lost Pierre Thomas for a while. So I think they should think about looking at a running back in this draft.
Really?
Haven't seen one off the board yet, and there's some great ones, especially Mark Ingram, as he said. Definitely need some help with their rushing attack, and also on defense, their rush defense. Getting a little old in the front seven. Some great names, Will Smith, former Ohio State national champion, Jonathan Vilma in the middle. But there's so many defensive talents on the board still. How do you keep passing up these guys? Hopefully we see New Orleans grab one to be the heir apparent to Will Smith.
There's just so many of them, Billy. And
They are.
New Orleans, clearly a team that had a lot of talent last year.
Sure.
Very beset and besieged by the injuries. They have a lot of talent, as we said, but much of that is set up by great drafting. Once again, it all starts in April at the draft, and in 2007, the Saints selected Robert Meacham, the wide receiver from Tennessee, who has been a good player from them. Cedric Ellis, the defensive tackle from USC, went 7th. He's been a force in the middle. 2009, Billy, your guy Malcolm Jenkins, the defensive back from Ohio State, and 2010, Patrick Robinson, the cornerback. Greg and Kurt, the Saints clearly a team with a lot of talent, as much as anyone. Can they get back to those 2009 heights?
Well, Joey, optimism is still high for the Saints, but they would like to get back to the peaks that they had in that 09 season. Kurt, there are definitely some weaknesses exposed in the Saints roster, especially in that playoff game against the Seattle Seahawks. What are some of those weaknesses that they can plug up with this pick?
See, I agree with Billy here. I think they got to go defense. And you know what? Their defense is solid. It's a good defense. They're just aging. They're getting older. So what they need to do is draft someone who can get to the quarterback, get pressure, or a big guy in the middle who can stuff the run, like a Stephen Paya, someone like that. And also you have Cameron Jordan still out there, Daquan Bowers. All of these guys can fit a need. They can get to the pass rusher. They can clog holes. These are guys who would like to come in, and you know what? They don't have to perform right away. They can take some time, learn behind the veteran players, but yet your team's getting older. Next wave of players coming in.
Absolutely, and I think it has to be defense. On the offensive side of the ball, there's really not any major issue. You have one of the best quarterbacks in the game in Drew Brees, solid wide receiver corps, and while you could fix running back, unless you're going with Ingram, there's not much of a pick there.
See, I agree with you there. I agree.
Yeah, so Saints definitely have a lot of options from where they could pick, but we're in agreement with you guys. It's defense.
Guys, we talk about running backs in this league, and clearly this has become a league of running backs by committee. That's why you haven't seen someone go off the board yet. Mark Ingram owns a national trophy, a national championship trophy, a Heisman trophy, still hasn't been selected. Guys, are we back to the Cameron Jordan, Daquan Bowers argument once again here?
I think so. At this point, they are clearly the two of the highest guys left on our board. Daquan Bowers, you mentioned, a potential top pick coming into the year, coming in a couple months ago, actually. Questions about the knee. Someone's going to get a steal on Bowers, in my opinion. And Cameron Jordan, yeah, he's a little scheme specific, maybe a 3-4 guy better than a 4-3, but still a great talent. Can make him fit anywhere with a good coaching staff.
As he said, Cameron Jordan fits in the 3-4. New Orleans does not run a 3-4. They run a 4-3. So if we see a DN come off the board, probably going to be Daquan Bowers. But the thing about the NFC South, where they're playing not a lot of great defenses, some above average defenses, such as New Orleans, Tampa Bay. But I think you need to go offense. You have to keep plugging away at the offense, especially with Atlanta grabbing Julio Jones early in this draft. They only got better. What's New Orleans going to do to keep up?
Billy, got to cut you off. The pick is in. Is it Bowers? Is it Jordan? Is it someone else? We're about to find out.
With the 24th pick of the 2011 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Cameron Jordan, defensive end, California.